you were talking earlier about drum restoration.
Mm-hmm.
There was a really, really cool project that you worked on, a set of drums that was used on a Genesis tour.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that. How did that happen? I mean, these were Chester Thompson's. I got to say this first of all, and maybe you can in your answer you can
Yeah.
talk about this. But you know, I was a jazz drummer early on, and I learned how to play on a relatively small kit. You know, just a combo kit. Ringo comes along. He's got like a very basic kit. You know, and then you know as time goes on after the Beatles, as rock drumming developed, the kits grew and grew and grew. So by the time Chester Thompson and Phil Collins are touring with Genesis, it's like there's a horseshoe of instruments surrounding them, and a drum fill could go on for 5 minutes. You know, if you start over here and you keep going like this, it's endless. Okay, so my question to you is all of that stuff necessary? I mean, what's you got Ringo who's you know who played all of these great parts, you know, and you got somebody like Chester Thompson or Mickey Hart even, you know, from the Grateful Dead, who's got kits that are like bigger than your house, and
Yes.
and you know. There's a lot of options when you're playing a kit like that in terms of sounds and rhythms and so forth. But do you you know, tell me about what your impression is about
I
that.
mean, I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, sure, it is necessary for the music. You know,
Okay.
for some of the music is necessary. I mean, if you want to lay down only a groove, you need only a bass drum, a snare, and a hi-hat. That's it. You know, I mean, but I mean, to record Simon Phillips, you know, it's the drum set is like a piano, and you cannot put all the things out of the piano and say, I have only this note, you know, because of all the resonance what you have in the drum kit. What Simon Phillips, for example, like Chester, Chester Thompson has this big kit, you know, at that time because it was also, he loved it and he needed it for the music. I mean, if you look to the music from Genesis.
Well, Genesis music was very progressive and complicated and had a lot of stuff going on with it. So there were a lot of opportunities.
Yes, and you need, and it was a need for him to have it. And if you look a little bit to the technology of the drum set, you saw also that, I mean, you was looking after this Genesis kit. There was also some toms have trigger inside because of different sounds. So it's not so to say, oh, this is this big kit. These are special different sounds. You know, I mean, this is obviously from 8-inch to 18-inch was everything there.
Right.
But you know, if you look exactly how we played that, then you recognize, okay, there were some special sounds also involved in that. But anyway, how came this together? I mean,
So how did you come across the set of drums first of all, and what compelled you to want to restore them? I mean, is this like the Holy Grail that you know was in bad shape and it needed to be restored so other people could enjoy it, or what?
I have to explain. I mean, this was the only drum set which I never put apart. You know, also as I said with Ginger Baker, I never put apart and make anything on that. You know, the Genesis tour kit is very special. I mean, normally, as I said, I put a drum set apart, restore it, make the wood in the great shape back, you know, bearing edge and those things. But the Genesis kit, I leave it as it is. Why? I have to come back. In '92 was the Genesis tour, the We Way We Walk tour.
Right.
And I saw this drum set. And in the 80s, the Sonor factory had a big catalog which calls the Drummer's Drum. And when you open this, you saw this big Sonor signature drum kit.
Yeah, it was like a double truck.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
across
like,
2 pages.
And everybody said like, oh, Bobinga would like, oh God, it was gorgeous. I mean, so, and in '91 they came out again with the Sonor signature, you know, but in a high gloss lacquer on the on the shelf. And they call it the Sonar Signature Special Edition. High gloss lacquer, but also they put some stuff inside, which they have before with the Sonar highlight. They combine the technology at that time. And I saw this drum set, and I have to say, I sit down during the school time, I have to say, catalog, piece of paper, calculate this drum set together, the symbols, and I end up by an amount. I said, Uli, not in your life. Forget it. I put this away, boom, done, that's it. In 1999, on NAMM show in Anaheim, I was at Joe Porcaro's booth. He sold at that time the Porcaro covers.
Right.
And by an accident, Chester Thompson came to this booth, and Joe Porcaro introduced me to Chester Thompson, and we met. 5 minutes later, Johnny Craviotto, drum maker near San Francisco, he make one-piece wood shells, came also to the same booth. We met. Fine. I had no idea. A few years later, we run already the festival Drums'n'Percussion Paderborn. We got the idea, a friend of mine who worked for Sabian, Christian Koch, hey Uli, is it not possible to get Phil Collins and Chester Thompson to this festival? I said, I don't know. But, having Chester Thompson there, hey, good idea. Let's do it.
Well, Phil was retired at that time, right? Or
No, not really. But,
no,
but
sort of. Anyway.
Yeah, so what happens, I was trying to get Chester. And got involved again with Chester, and we met. And we met in Nashville at the Summer NAMM. And at that time I put him together, with Johnny Craviotto, because he was looking for Johnny Craviotto for years. I had no idea. And by the way, 5 minutes.
Great.
The gap, and and so. And Chester and I, we talked about drums, we talked about everything. So he came to the festival 2003, played the first time. He came back in 2005, played again with Louis Sconte. And after all those years, that was in 2009, he gave me a call because he knew I'm collecting the Sonar drums, restoring, and said, Uli, I have here a Sonar drum set. I'm playing DW since years, and yeah, I would like, I don't want to say get rid of it, but he said I want to sell it.
I'd like to find a new home for it.
Thanks, exactly.
Yeah.
Uli, I would like to find a new home for it. I said, sure. Which drum set is it? Yeah, it's this Genesis. I said, which drum set? I went like my phone and I said, Chester, I have to tell you a story. I went up. I still had this catalog at that time, and also the list which I did in '92. I said, I sent you now a list which I did in '92. I sent it over, and he started laughing, and it was like a situation like, couldn't believe it. It came really together.
It was like it was meant to be,
said,
right?
Oh.
That's fantastic.
So, okay, and I said also, okay, not in this life, okay, sorry, here it is. Then I got to say, but respectfully, I had to say, okay, what are you doing? We met then in Nashville later, and I looked after the drums. He said, I have the old hardware. I said, wait a minute, what? So everything was there since it came from the tour. There was only a few pieces, and then I found out, where are the microphones? And at that time already I knew the old backliner from Phil Collins, who was in Switzerland, which is Bobby Leiser. And I called up Bobby. I said, do you have any idea where all those things went through? And we really tried to find all the original parts together. So and it was really, Chester had so many things still, and I was able to find all original parts together. And who really helped me in that, and was also influenced in this, was Brett Marsh, the drum tech from Phil Collins.
Yes.
And Brett is also somebody who really loves old Sonar drums. He's playing on his own Sonar highlight drum set, for example. And The only big problem was we had no picture from the tour. At that time, there was not allowed for a lot of press guys to
Yeah,
come on
yeah.
stage, back photos, and now find back photos of the drum set, of the details.
Yeah, to see how
So
it's set up.
on the end, I looked the video.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
countless, I was looking all those details, I mean, imagine if you look to the video and you find, how was this screw, what was this part? And, and I capture around 300 pictures on the end from the video,
I was going to
only
say
to put
screen
and
caps.
it was really like to put it together. And I remember one part, which was the his right cymbal boom arm, and also a boom arm which is attached to his snare for the microphone, which was the old Gibraltar part, which was missed. And I called up at that time Ken Fredenburg, who is really the inventor of the old Gibraltar hardware, and said, hey, can you help me with this? You know what? I have those parts, and he sent it over to me to Germany.
Oh my God.
And so I put it together, and the set was still at Chester's house, and then I got a call from the Music Fair Frankfurt, who set it up at Vintage Show. And I said, yeah, the drums are in Nashville still, and we put together the parts. Let's ship them over to Germany, and let's show it at the Vintage Show. I said, well, and they set it up this with Sonar together, and they shipped over from Nashville the drum set, and to the Vintage Show.
Great series of photos of you packing up the whole kit, in like 14 different boxes and
Right.
shipping cases,
Right.
drum cases.
Right. I mean, it came on 2 skids plus the original flight case, the Genesis flight case with the hardware.
Wow.
Everything in the original shape, and I really worked detailed on it to set it up as it was on stage. And so no changing of the drum heads, nothing. Leave it as it is, as it was, like a piece of art in this moment. And that's all about it, And later we brought it to the Heinz Liegstdorf Museums Forum, where the festival is held, the Drums and Percussion Paderborn Festival. We set it up there, for the festival, and yeah, I mean, it's the Sonar guy said there was only this one big drum set, which they did with all the percussion rims. I mean, because Sonar Signature Special Edition was not long made, really.
Right.
And it was like, it is a very special set.
Well, it must have been very expensive, and not that many drummers probably could afford it.
At that time, no.
So where's the set now?
The set is in Paderborn.
Okay. Is it like on permanent display there?
No, not yet. But I mean, we bring it up, show it here and there.
You wheel it out on special occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Paderborn, the next festival is scheduled for 2018, right? Can you give us a preview of what's going to happen at the next festival, the next Drums and Percussion Festival?
We will have for sure the WDR Big Band. We will have the WDR Big Band there. I mean, they are coming. We're just working on a project with the WDR Big Band, a special project. I have to say, in 2010 we had a special project with the NDR Big Band, Trilo Curto and Simon Phillips. And something like this we would like to do also in 2018. We're just looking for the right drummer and the right percussion player for this project. And there are also some plans, to have Chester Thompson again there with his trio. And there are also some special projects which I like to do with electronic drums, combine this with computer. And we are in the computer museum, and I would like to combine, the acoustic and computer, and for the workshops, I would like to do a lot of interactive workshops also with video conference stuff. I'm just thinking about some concepts about that. And
yeah, you can engage drummers from all over the world that way who can't make it necessarily.
For example.
Yeah, great.
And because the computer museum has all the technology and in the building, it's a huge building, and everybody who's coming to Germany, for visit, I mean for vacation, go to this place and look in the Heinz Nixdorf Museums Forum in Paderborn. It's really interesting, you know, to get this. You know, it's really interesting.
Well, I'd love to visit and check it out. From
Yeah.
what I've seen, photo-wise and video-wise, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And so that's what we plan for 2018. I mean, basically at this time. I mean, I cannot talk about everything now, but for sure we will have some great stuff.
Well, we got
And
a couple of minutes.
And in between, I mean, till the 2018 festival, we will release most of the material which everybody is waiting for.
Nice.
I mean, hey, vital information. Steve Smith has to be done, has to be made. Bernard Purdy with his band. There is some world percussion concerts which we have to do with Hakim Ludin, Lenny Castro, Rani Kriya, Martin Verdonk. There's some classic stuff which we did. I mean, this festival has also classic drum,
Symphonic
drumming involved, and Dugu Chancellor, Patrice Russian, Rhonda Smith. You know, there is a concert, and God, there are tons of material, and which we can release and which we would like to